Jason with Spark Factory. Some of you guys know I work for AT&T Electric. Today I'm actually going out to replace a pool panel with Chlorine King at one of his customers' house. They went out to hook up a pump at a customer's house, and they sent me some pictures of the panel. They were having some issues with voltage and found a bunch of damage and burnt wires and things like that going on. So we're going to go ahead and replace this pool timer since it's kind of rusted out and beat up. And we'll probably go ahead and replace all the existing wiring and the flex connectors and flex itself, and give them a nice clean new install. So usually we reuse some of the stuff to help the customers on money, obviously, but this one is in such bad shape we're not going to reuse any of it. So headed to Home Depot right now to pick up a little 4-circuit or 4-space panel, and we will then head over to the customers. I think Eric's going to meet me at Home Depot, but pick that stuff up, and if Home Depot doesn't yell at me, I'll take you guys through there with us to go shopping, and then head over to the customer's house, do a walkthrough, and get going. It's a little hot here today in Florida. It's a little sunny. Humidity's up, but yeah, that's what we do here in Florida. So we'll get it done, and I'll see you guys there. See ya. So let's see here. I don't want a 2-spacer. It's better deciding like what I want to get.
So we're here checking out. Jason just got his haircut. He's looking pretty snazzy.
I got sick of looking homeless. I did it home though because, well, you know, social distancing and all.
Yeah, social distancing. We're about 1 foot away right now.
That one's only.
I love seeing him struggle. Of course, the essential drinks for the job.
Please rescan your last item.
Now let's see if we can make this work. Come on. Alright.
Oh, we got it.
Alright, just got some gas here, and now we're gonna head over to the customer's house. Sitting here following Eric over there now, so we'll see you guys here in a few minutes.
Hey guys, Chlorine King here. We're at a job site today, me and my buddy Jason from AT&T Electric. And we are going to show you how to replace a sub panel. Now in Florida here, a pool contractor cannot do this type of work, which is why I have this.
Our audio is going to be terrible, just
yeah,
forewarning.
Just so you guys see.
It literally started right after we started shooting video. This started.
Every time we try to make a video, someone's cutting the yard, doing some kind of lawn work like that, like cutting trees or whatever. It just never gets old. But as I was saying, in Florida, a pool contractor isn't able to do this type of work, so that's why I got this ogre over here to help me out. So here's what the issue was. We went to go replace a pump, and it might be hard to see up here, but it's really burnt up in there, and sub panel's not working as it should, and the breakers are damaged. So we're going to go ahead and show you the process for getting that fixed so we can get this pump up and running. So hey, we just had a break from them. That ain't gonna last long though. But let's go ahead and show you how it's done.
Everything goes. So we have a 30 amp feed right now that we're working with. This is actually a 70 amp. It's a 2-space 4-circuit. They get that rating just so everybody understands. It's 2 spaces because it allows 2 spaces for a breaker. So you technically have an A phase and a B phase since it's a 240 panel. They get the 4 circuits because you can buy these breakers here. These are tandem breakers. What these breakers allow you to do is run 2 circuits off of a single space. Those are great for just adding multiple circuits to a panel with the short on spaces for breakers. The biggest mistake I see that people try to do is they think, oh, 2 spaces, I can run 240 or equipment that requires a 240 circuit off of this breaker. It's not possible, because basically what you're doing, I'll show you guys the inside of this thing. So your power comes in here. You have your A phase, and you have your B phase. So if you were to put this breaker in here, you notice it only goes on one leg. So you actually end up getting one leg of power. So this is just going to be on your A phase. So if you were to put a 240 circuit onto this one breaker, you would only get 120 volts. You wouldn't actually get 240. Luckily, the setup we have here today is all 120. So we're going to run 120 on the 20 amp for this, and the 15 amp is going to be for his pool light that he's got going on here. So just so you guys have an understanding of what we're installing today. Other things to keep in mind when you buy one of these panels, they don't come with a ground bar. So always good to buy a ground bar to go in here. It usually goes in, like this one has a screw slot on both sides. You can install this ground bar so you can lay your grounds. Also, if you're coming out of the top of it, the only way to legally do that is to use a hub. So drilling a hole through this cap and putting a connector into this cap is not legal. It's not waterproof. It won't pass. It's not code compliant. You have to buy one of these hubs. Basically what the hub does, I'll actually go ahead and open this for you guys.
And while he's doing that, we're also putting in a new 240 timer to power the new pump and all that fun stuff.
Basically it's got a ridge, so that way when water sits up on top of it, it doesn't go up. There's on the bottom of this, I'll show you guys when I open it later, there's a ridge that comes up and meets the bottom of this. That way water doesn't go up and go inside of the panel. So, and as Eric just said, we're installing a new timer for him. This one's just a standard 120 volt timer. Since that's all we're running the pump at right now, that's all we need. It's a 7-day, so it has a 7-day adjustment. You can do it all separately. This one's basically probably going to have a standard schedule, so we won't worry about any of that. So there you have it, and we'll get to installing this stuff.
And I really meant 120, even though I said 240.
Let me start about.
Alright, so we are going to show you now how to install the ground bar into this panel. That's Jason's boyfriend, just for the record.
I don't discriminate. I'm not like Eric.
I'm into pigtails, not kickstands.
You just got demonetized.
Alright guys, so we are going to show you how to install the new ground bar.
I like how you re-say it so you can delete that. That's nice.
I'll let it roll. Alright guys, we are here in front of the sub panel and we're going to show you how to install the ground bar.
So that's the ground bar. It installs on the screw holders, one on each side. This side has a little bit more room for me to work on, so that's why I put it on that side. Now we're going to go ahead and put the hub, weatherproof hub on the top. Where I was talking about previously, where I said it's got a ridge that's built up. It's basically once this is installed, it sits there. Water can't build up, go up and over the ledge and inside the panel, so it keeps it waterproof. Basically just reinstall the screws as they were. You use the same screws that were in it originally. It doesn't come with anything new. And typically what I try to do, these have a little bit of play in them. I typically just try to line it up where this is flush on the back. That gets it close to the wall, and usually it's easier to get the pipe in and out, especially if you're using PVC. Obviously PVC, you can get offsets and stuff where you can heat the pipe up, but as you can see there's still about a half-inch, a little under a half-inch gap, so small offset to get it in there.
And after it finishes tightening it up, what's the next step?
We're going to go start disassembling everything and getting this stuff put up after this. Just to make sure it's even on both sides here. Cockeyed. Well, these don't need to be super tight. I mean, snug down as tight as you can get them, but you don't need to like grab your torque wrench and start breaking stuff. So there's that.
You don't want to break it right in the box?
No sir. So obviously since we're installing two breakers in this panel, I'm going to go ahead and take out this blank that's in here. They snap out pretty easily. You just grab them. There it goes. Throw that away. And now it's set up, ready for two. we're ready to go.
Cool. So we'll go ahead and start disassembling the old one now.
All right, just real quick. A lot of people are going to see this bag inside these sub panels. So what you have in here is a silver screw, is a screw for putting this dead front plate cover back on here. That goes right down here in the corner, right through that hole. This other green screw is a bonding screw. And what that it does is right here you have the ground bar. This is the neutral bar in this setup. So this neutral bar can also be bonded to the can, to the ground, basically, the whole ground system. Like inside your panel, inside your house, what you'll find is that it's bonded, your feeds coming in are bonded inside your meter can normally, or they're bonded inside the panel. So you'll notice inside your home panel you'll have your green and your white, or your bare and your white, all in the same bars throughout the panel itself. Once you get farther into the system, you don't do it that way. They're actually separate. It's separate system. So like in panels like these where it's a sub panel and it's being fed from the primary, you separate your neutrals and your grounds. So you wouldn't have your greens and your whites both on here. You'd have your white on your neutral bar, and your bare or your green would be going directly to your ground bar. They wouldn't be tied together in any means. And that's where you see this is on a plastic bracket. And what that does is it insulates and isolates that neutral from the metal of the can and the grounding of the can. So if you were to run this long green screw in, it would go through here all the way back, and you can actually see the white tab back here is actually a weatherproof cover, but it's actually threaded right through this hole, and it would bond this neutral to the can. If this was being fed by itself from a meter, you would do it that way, but being a sub panel, you don't do it that way. It is separate. So just so you guys understand how that works, if anybody has questions about that bag.
El Professor Jason right here.
Yes.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and start disassembling now.
Okay. So we're back over here at the panel. What we're going to do is we're going to start taking the panel out, and then the timer box here. As you can see, some of the stuff's in paint, so it's going to be a little tricky getting some of this out, but we're going to go ahead and get this stuff out of the way. That way we can start installing the stuff we showed you over there on the table.
And while he's working, I'm going to be hovering around him, asking questions to help you guys learn a little bit more, getting in the way, basically, as he said, and educate you guys. So here we go.
As I think I told some of you guys, we're going to go ahead and replace everything. We're not reusing any of this existing wiring. As you can see, even the insulation on this is starting to deteriorate. You can see the heat coating that's on the outside is starting to crack off there. Let's see, I can get it. There we go. So that's like the heat coating that makes it the THHN rating, and everything is all starting to heat off. You can see none of the wires were long enough. They spliced them. We're going to get rid of all that and get him a nice new clean install. That way everything's nice and proper and lasts them years to come.
Now, can you reuse the wire even though the heat coating's gone?
It's done a lot. Most inspectors won't gig you on that, but the wire is deteriorating. You are losing the rating. You are losing the heat rating and everything of this wire. So it's typically recommended that it's to be replaced. So when we do it, we always replace it.
Do it right. Yep, exactly.
I don't put my name and license on things that could potentially be dangerous or hurt customers or damage their equipment and stuff. I'd rather not do the job than do things like this where it's just not right. That wire, by code, if you make any joints in any boxes, whether it be a panel, whether it be a timer, a junction box, a receptacle box, your wires are supposed to stick 6 inches from the front working face of this panel. So this little 1-inch splice he's got going on here, it's not even legal. I understand there's not enough room in there. Well, it's only a foot from here to here. It should have just been replaced completely instead of taking the cheap route of putting a 2.5-inch piece of wire in here and doing it improperly. So that's just things. If you see somebody, your handyman's doing electrical, or your electrician or somebody that you found is doing some things like that, when you start seeing it, you start questioning. It's just not the proper way to be done. And like I told Eric a little bit earlier, I know one of the questions that's going to be asked is, why are we installing normal breakers outdoors on stuff that's in the water and things that are typically supposed to be a GFI? This panel is actually fed from a GFI breaker inside. So this entire panel and everything connected to it is GFI protected. So there's no need for GFI breakers out here. That is the cheaper way to do it. If you had a bunch of breakers outside, you would have to buy $100+ breaker for every single one of those circuits. So for here, it's just going to be done this way.
Cool, so we're gonna take a second and let him continue tearing this apart, and we'll be back. Yeah, so Jason's in the sub panel now, just continuing to take stuff apart.
We are going to end up replacing the feed to the timer, to the transformer for the light too. The wiring is extremely short and just needs to be redone, so we're going to do that too. We'll grab a wrench here.
Never has all his stuff with him. I don't get it.
Eric keeps moving my tools on me. He doesn't have any of his own, so he likes to borrow mine.
I borrow ideas, but not tools. So now he's taking the hub off that we were
Yeah, it
talking
doesn't
about
make
earlier.
it easier for me to work on some of this stuff. I'm going to have to get a little physical with some of this stuff here in a minute. Trying to get the paint off the screw here so I can actually get a screwdriver into it.
This is where he does
My little
everything
left-handed stuff is killing me here.
He does everything so manual. I would have pulled out a drill by now and just done it. He's a hands-on kind of guy.
I have it done by the time he gets the drill out.
That's true, though. It is a process getting tools out. You know, guys, I just had a great idea, and he's denying me that satisfaction.
I don't know what he's talking about.
This is bullshit. This is what I'm talking about.
The student can never become the teacher.
Did you hear that, guys? I am a student of his, so he teaches me lots.
I teach him to drink soda when it's hot out.
It's very good. Carbonation is good to help your blood flow for sure.
It helps my steady hand.
Man, these long people over there are just killing us. So he's using a set of ratcheting PVC cutters so he can make a cut into this PVC but not actually cut through and damage the wire. It's one of the cool tricks I learned from him. That was my idea to begin with. So we got the new box on. We haven't secured the wall yet, but this is the new box and what it looks like so far. So we're going to go ahead and keep working. Any of you guys, as a side note, any of you guys that do a lot of drilling in walls or concrete, this SDS drill here, I mean, even though he has a crappy brand, the Milwaukee is awesome. In all seriousness, both are awesome, and it makes drilling in concrete, watch how easy this is. So much easier than a hammer drill. Since I got mine, I absolutely love it over the hammer drill. So if you guys do a lot of drilling, get the SDS Plus.
What are the odds of that? That we get lawn service twice.
I'm telling you, every time we do a video, especially when it's the two of us, someone's always making noise.
It's always lawn. Last time we have a lawnmower, this time we have the tree crew.
Next time we're going to have people paving the street or something. Jason right now is starting to wire the sub panel up. With the wires we lengthened and getting things set up. Sorry guys, these people are still, you see them way out in the distance over there. Yeah, they're the ones that are responsible for the crappy audio. reduce the ambiance of background noise.
I got all my tools on eBay.
You step up the Facebook Marketplace, son. That's looking good. Nothing's burnt in this one, believe it or not. It's pretty good. Alright. Cool. Alright guys, so we got the timer box mounted. Timer in. Got the sub panel done. Well, at least mounted. And Jason's going to grab the wire now so we can wire everything up. So stay tuned for more. Alright, so now Jason's wiring up the new timer for 120.
Most of these timers all have a diagram right inside the door. Makes it very easy to know how to wire them. This one is compatible with 240 switching. If you wanted to put a 240 motor on it, you could. It's a 120 only as far as the clock motor is concerned. So where it says 120 volt clock motor, right there. I mean, just the motor that runs this clock works on 120 volts. So you land your first hot right there on that one. That's your line coming in. And then your neutral, which is the white wire, goes to here. So on this one, we're only breaking the hot to the motor. You don't have to break the neutral. So that's what we're doing.
So guess where we land that neutral wire, guys? Right on that neutral bar.
There, I took my tools again.
Right up there. Yeah, he's blaming me for taking his tools again.
He's taking my tools and walking around with them, fiddling around, trying to learn what he's doing.
Well, I've already told you guys I love seeing Jason struggle, but the fact of the matter is he misplaced his tools, his eBay tools. Now, it's always a good idea to make sure you guys tighten these very tightly against the wire so they don't come loose and arc and cause a fire, which is basically what happened here before, right?
Yeah, whoever it looks, I mean, obviously we couldn't really tell what the damage was caused by, but it looks like it was caused by an arc from some sort of short circuit. So something that they're rubbing due to vibration and rubbing across something sharp, or a lug wasn't tight and it was arcing inside a lug and slipped out and grounded out. This one had so much arcing damage in the back of it, it was hard to tell what actually caused the problem. So, and by tight, he doesn't mean so tight that you're going to snap and strip stuff. It just needs to be snugged.
Yeah, you don't want to tighten it to where you actually go through the wire, but tight enough to where it can't have any possibility of coming loose.
The breakers.
Alright, he's getting the breakers now, so we're going to plop those in and start doing more wiring.
I guess I can show that, huh? So on the bottom of these, you'll see there's like an anchor point, and you basically line that up on this plastic tab right here. So you lock that on there, and then it just pushes up. Some of these brand new, or like this one, are a little on the stiff side. So it takes a little finagling to get them in there, but they fit. That one went in obviously nice and easy. So that's it. Always make sure you put them in the off position. I like to do it right away so I don't forget, and wire something on, turn the power on, and the next thing you know, you're energizing something you don't want to energize.
Good safety tip there.
So what I was doing, the standard flathead is that wide, and a trim screwdriver is that wide. If you notice the tabs in here, how small these screws are, if I were to go taking this screwdriver and trying to screw that in there, I'd either snap this plastic off or strip it all up. So I was actually going to grab the proper size screwdriver to tighten this down.
So always important on the proper tool, guys. Makes your job go quicker, easier, and
you don't damage your brand new breaker or
less collateral damage.
So that one's lined up, ready to go. I'm leaving this loose until we get the other ground and the other side for it.
Alright, Alright, so in the middle of Jason dropping all his tools.
Edit that, cut that out.
I don't know what to do with this guy.
Cut.
He's not losing his tools or dropping crap. I just don't know. That's why our jobs take forever. So Jason's prepping the light transformer now to go up to the breaker box sub panel. Anything special you gotta worry about with lights, Jason?
Besides making sure that they're on a GFI breaker, and making sure that you ground all your equipment properly, that's about it.
Remember, guys, this sub panel is fed from a GFCI breaker, so we're good here.
Yeah, we can use standard breakers because it's already got its protection. There's no need to run multiple GFI breakers. It does nothing for you, except cost you a lot of money. And at $100 plus a breaker, it adds up quite quick.
Heard it from the man, the myth, the legend. Hey, good news, guys. I think the tree guys finally stopped. They're still over there, though. But I haven't heard a peep out of them. Now that I jinxed us, but I haven't heard a peep out of them for the last half an hour or so. Yeah, somewhere around there. So, getting closer, guys. Basically building the last piece of the puzzle. It's looking nice and clean. The boxes are mounted level. Looks like someone knows what they were doing over here. This is our job site for today. Nice and organized and purty. Got our camera gear, some tools. This cart, I've been meaning to get one. This is Jason's. This is our scrap pile. He's been trying to damage my camera the entire time. Miscellaneous electrical parts, wires, conduit, other fittings. There's the big boy drill bits right over there. For drilling in your drywall, plastic, stuff like that. Just kidding. It's about to go ahead and start strapping the conduit so he gets the right length down at the pump. What he's doing there, using that level, it's a good thing to do to make sure the conduit's perfectly vertical.
It's hard to do on flex, but you can get close.
I use that. I swear, when I'm doing work, I use my level probably more than any other tool. Doing plumbing, doing
you can do the
stuff.
best job, but if you do a bunch of crooked work, people will hate you. It's the quickest and easiest thing to do is pull out a level and make the job look 100 times better.
This is a good question for Jason. What's the requirement to strap conduit coming out of a device or box?
For flex, it's 12 inches. So 12 inches from where it exits the box to where the strap has to be. A lot of times we actually strap it a lot closer just because it keeps everything straight and it looks good. And you don't have, sometimes you have picky inspectors, and the code is a minimum, not a maximum. So that's your minimum requirement is within 12 inches. But you might have an inspector that tells you, hey, I want another strap there, and even though it's to code, you'll have to do it because he's the jurisdiction over it, and that's what he wants. So a lot of times we kind of go over and above just to make sure, and most guys strap with it a little bit closer, and that way you don't have to worry about it.
That's good information. It's just always good to do that. I'll actually try to insert a picture of some job I walked onto not too long ago. It's just a recently installed pump. The conduit was just a huge loop, not strapped down at all, and it's just, you're more likely to pull on it, possibly yank out the wires and cause some issues. So it's always good to secure it against the wall or pad. Alright guys, so this is what it looks like when it's all done. So we got the timer all wired up, and then we got the sub panel all wired up. So all we got left to do is the pump, and we're going to put our safety screens on and our faceplate and wire the pump up. We'll be done.
Alright, so another thing we like to do before, now we have power turned on at the panel. Everything's been checked over before we did that. Now what we want to do is we want to verify voltage, verify the neutral and ground, to make sure everything's proper. So we'll do that using a meter before we turn anything on so we don't cause damage to any of the equipment. So we're going to go line to line. We should have 240. We have 242.9. So then we're going to go from line 1 to neutral. We should have 120. So we have 120.6. We'll go from B to neutral. Same thing, on 122, so it's a little bit higher, no big deal. Then we're going to go back to A, and we're going to go to ground to make sure we have a good ground. There we go, we're at 121.3, and then we're going to go from B to ground, 121.122. So yeah, everything looks good, everything's working good, so we're going to go ahead and we can go ahead and turn on the pump first. Here, the timer kicked on, so the gear must be rolling in there.
And guess what, now
Pump's
we got
running.
remote, or power here at the remote.
So the pump's running, and then we'll turn on the light once we get with the owner so we can use the switch on the inside of the house. The pump should turn on here, I think, by itself here in a couple seconds or minutes, and we'll go ahead and clean out the inside of this panel a little bit, blow it out, and then we'll close it up.
So guys, that is how you replace the sub panel, and in this case the timer box as well. So check out both of our channels. I'll include a link to his channel as well, and subscribe and like our videos, and we'll keep this content coming out. So have a great day everyone, take care.